binary tree in order to transfer. Again, the root of binary tree returned in order transfer of its node's value. Okay. In order मतलब किया left root right. Right. Okay, what is the minimum number of nodes you could have? Zero. Zero, 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 zero. Yeah. Define out. To create a different DFS function. So return in order at last. Before that, call this DFS. Yes, sir. Void DFS. Trainer. DFS no. If root is null, then just return else. Call the left subtree, which is DFS. Root left. Then push the current node's value. Exactly. Then call the right subtree. Okay, simplest back. Okay, no data. Okay, well. D6. I found you. On my side, so over 100, 1,000. Each could use rooms. Oh, yeah. Meta E5 phone screen. Let's say. Mm, okay, count and say. Let's say the category. Okay, count and say. Okay, three twos. So two threes, three twos, 1 5 and 1 1. Two three. We're gonna do it. Count and say one. Just one. Then is the way you would say the digit string. Uh, the digit string from count is a notion which isn't converted into different digits. I mean, how to say it is it split it into minimal number of substrings, as each substring contains exactly one type of digit or one unique digit. Then for each substring, say the number of digits we have and followed by the value of the digit. Only concatenate every digit in the string. Written it as a string. Doesn't look hard. You could a sliding window here. So int what is n? Again as well. Maximum what the do it manually. This is right like what is sliding window to count the number of digits the same way. To count the contiguous digits. So base case is for like so string answer. Term one, one. Surveillance access. Authenticator. Sense. One is less than size. themselves. white papers that are worth your time. Feel free to add more by commenting below original photographs. Okay. Netflix working orchestration. Scalable workflow orchestration. Conductor is a platform created by Netflix to orchestrate workflows. Orchestrate is like to make different services or different systems work in sync. Like we have an orchestration, music orchestration where different musicians play it in sync with each other, right? So orchestration. The coordination, it's coordination, yeah. And the management of multiple computer systems or services, right? Applications or services and stringing together multiple tasks in order to execute a larger workflow process. So Conductor is a platform created by Netflix to orchestrate workflows that span across microservices. So open source Apache 2.0 license for commercial and non-commercial use. Freedom to deploy, modify, and communicate with back modules. A fully abstracted backend enables you choose your database, persistence layer, and queuing service, and then proven right enterprise-ready Java Spring-based platform that has been battle tested in production systems at Netflix. Wait a minute. Control. Powerful flow control constructs, including decisions, dynamic fork joins, and sub workflows rules and templates supported. Polyglot, client libraries in multiple languages allows workers to implement Java, Node.js, Python, C hash, C sharp. Scalable, distributed architecture for both orchestrator and workers, scalable from a single workflow to millions of concurrent processes. Observability, developer experience. So discover and visualize the process flows from the bundled UIs, integrated interface to create, refine, and validate workflows. JSON-based workflow definition, JSON, data definition language, maybe I don't know. DSL I don't know. Fully featured, full featured for API for customer automation observability. Observability is to understand, debug, and iterate on tasks and workflows execution. Fine-grained operational control over workflows with the ability to pause, resume, restart, retry, from. And for that, I want to like see what are different options right available in the market and which are the most popular ones. So cluster and workflow manager. Best softwares for workflow manager. There's a cluster and workflow manager. Kubernetes, systems.
What is the tool used to manage a Kubernetes cluster? According to virtualization,
Kubernetes. Y conductor, service orchestration, workflow definitions are decoupled, right, for from task implementations. Okay, this allows the creation of process flows in which each individual task can be implemented by an encapsulated microservice. Designing a workflow orchestrator that is resilient and horizontally scalable is not a simple problem at Netflix. You develop a solution in conductor, service choreography, process flows are implicitly defined across multiple service implementations, often with tight peer-to-peer coupling between services, multiple event process, and complex publisher subscriber models limit observability around process progression and capacity. So before I get to understand right more about uh, these cluster and work management tools, I should like have basic understanding of that. And I saw that the most popular one is Kubernetes. So I should see tutorials on that to get more insights into what and how we actually do it.
Hi everyone. I hope you can see me, hear me. If yes, just a very quick yes, and then we will start. I'll just quickly introduce you to the agenda, and then we will move forward. Okay, awesome. All right, awesome, awesome. So we'll keep it brief to the point, and I will wrap up my key points in 10-15 minutes, and then I will do Q&A for 10-15 minutes, right? So that's the simple point. Essentially, I'm going to speak about 3-4 central points. As you already know, that the market has hit an all-time high. So congratulations. The larger point that people are missing, and I just tweeted about it, that gold has hit all-time high. If you had purchased property the last 1 year, it would have definitely gone up in value, provided you would have purchased the right property. If and today market also hit all-time high. So who are the people who are sort of worrying a little bit? Are the people who are just debating कि यार invest करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए? They are the ones who are truly parishan. But if you have invested money anywhere, it would have gone up over the last few months, right? So that is the central message that I'm trying to give. That there are very few phases or these type of phases when there is not just bullishness in the market, but there is just general bullishness anywhere you look in the form of investing. So that's the first central point I'm going to make. Now, the agenda for today is very simple, that the market has hit an all-time high, and many of you might be thinking, yeah, should I sell it and then I will re-enter later, because that is what the sensible way of investing would be. So that's the first central question that you might have in mind. Okay. Second central question that I'm getting asked is that, hey, SBI cards hasn't moved, Avas hasn't moved, some consumer durables haven't moved, HDFC Bank, Kotak haven't moved. By the way, HDFC Kotak moved quite a lot, right? I mean, today also and over the last few days they have been moving. So what is it that you should be doing in these stocks? And So I will speak about this stock specific viewpoint also, and I will briefly share some viewpoints around the entire bull run that is sort of happening. Okay. भैया अब एक-एक करके वैसे मत पूछना कि अच्छा ग्रीन मैंने बता दूं अच्छा you know XYZ stock speak about it, otherwise you know we'll have to organize like a 5-hour chat. I will give you a very clear sense what is it that you should be doing in very simple to the point format. आप लोग like कर दो so that you know this video reaches out to more people, and we will begin without wasting any time. First key point: should you sell now and buy later? See, it depends on what type of pravritti you have. Pravritti means that what type of nature you have. If you come from a trader mentality, then probably booking profits or booking some profits might make sense. Okay, please listen to this entire 15-20 seconds, and I'm going to speak very very carefully. Extremely important point. If you are a trader, then the idea is to flip. Okay, I'm not a trader, neither do I encourage trading. Right, therefore I'm not selling anything. Right, or booking very partial profits on certain type of companies. Now, what type of companies? I'll explain that subsequently on our chat. But to cut the long story short, you should not be a net seller in the market right now. Now, why am I saying it? It's very simple, and I've aggregated some data for you, and this is the data around the Nifty target levels and how does a typical bull run pan out and what is the typical return you get in terms of bull run. Tomorrow I'm going to release an entire video on helping you understand the last 50-year history of bull run. So आपको ध्यान से देखना, please watch it very very carefully. Extremely important video will come out on this topic, but if I have to give you like a crash course of 30-40 seconds, here are key points that you need to know. Point number 1: the immediate target for Nifty is 21,500. It is quite likely that Nifty might not stop. So right now we are at 20,600 700 के आसपास. It is very likely that this technical target of 21,500 will be immediately reached, or it might immediately reach. कुछ भी हो सकता है market में, I cannot predict it, but this 21,500 is a technical target. I've spoken about it previously also on some of my videos, and this technical target of 21,500 with almost a very very high degree of certainty is likely to be met either immediately or before the general elections in 2040. Right? So this is likely to happen. So अगर आप अभी बेच बाज के निकल जाओगे, right, and then you say that you know बाद में खरीद लेंगे. Sounds great in theory, but you have to be right in terms of timing it twice, right? One in terms of selling it, and then in terms of buying it at the right time. Most of us will not be able to do it. In fact, I have friends, right? And I keep on giving this example. I have friends who are still waiting for the Nifty to go to 10,000, right? Now you might be finding 10,000 who has gone mad, 10,000 Nifty. Why will it reach 10,000? Go back to COVID times. Market was before COVID. It was around 12,500ish Nifty. It fell down, right, to 8,500. Then it rose again. People start thinking, yeah, then it will be at 10,000, 10,000. Then I will buy it. They are still waiting today for the Nifty to go back to 10,000. They have not put in any money in the market. I'm not saying it to make fun. I am honestly telling you all this, all these data points as a key learning. People have lost more money waiting for a crash rather than losing money in the crash itself. There are numerous examples. I can give you example by example. Few months ago, there was a story of small cap funds, right? A very big media organization came out with an article that small cap funds are overvalued. People started commenting, you have stopped their SIPs. Since their recommendation of this, small cap index, I'm not speaking about individual small caps, I'm speaking about small cap index, as of today have gone up by 30%, 30%. Okay, लोग भूल जाते हैं notional profits जो हो सकते थे वो नहीं हुए. People worry too much about loss. So please do not fall in that mistake. And therefore, I'm not a net seller in the market. If you are pruning your portfolio, pruning means that you're cutting some bad stocks here and there because the market has gone up. It's completely fine. I'm giving examples of what those bad stocks would be, and I will cover it subsequently on our chat. But to cut the long story short, this is not a net seller market. Immediate Nifty target is 21,500. This is the technical target of Nifty. It can be reached. Support seems to be good. There is a psychological support. Support means that the market will come down and it will not breach this level, or is unlikely to breach this level. So the support points are 20,000, 19,600, 18,600. बहुत ही बड़ी कुछ गड़बड़ हुई. Okay. On top of that, please remember that the macro trends are favorable. Right? What are the macro trends? Everyone is expecting that interest rates will be cut in the first quarter of 2024 in the US. That's a very very big trigger for the market to give another up move. Okay. Interest rate बहुत तेजी से काट दिए, so then it will move up very dramatically. So honestly, it's very unlikely that the market is going to fall to less than 19,600 at least in the immediate future. Okay, that's part A. If you cover the entire bull run, now if you believe that you know we are in a bull run, then you must understand how much typical returns are made in a bull run. Okay, so just to share some history with you. So if you look at the last 3 bull runs, right? So the last bull run that came in India, it lasted from somewhere between 2013 to 2019, right? So 6-7 year period. In this, the market went up by 250%, 250%. Okay, very very big number. Right now, for context, after COVID, we can assume that we are in a bull run because markets have gone up post COVID. So here the total gains have been somewhere around 120%. Okay, the second bull run or the second last bull run happened between 2003 to 2008, and there the market in these 5-6 years went up by 608, and there the market in these 5-6 years went up by 610%. These are very big numbers. So ये assume करके मत बैठ जाओ that today we are sitting on Nifty all-time high, so the market will not go up. In fact, there is a very good chance that the Nifty will double from this point in this bull run itself. Okay, so please remember this extremely critical, important point. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. So yeah, so and tomorrow I'll make a video on the entire history of bull run, so that will give you confidence. But long story short, please do not believe in that theory that you will be able to time the market. You will not be able to time the market. If you cut your positions too soon, you will not be able to benefit from all the growth that is happening. Please remember that. Okay. Second key point, what you should remember is that where people make most money is not when they are investing at an all-time high. People make most money when they have money to invest when there is a downfall. Okay, I'll repeat that statement. Extremely critical, important statement, that people do not make money by investing when Nifty is at its all-time high. Okay, so is time pe bulk investing opportunities are gone, like it or not. If you're doing SIP, continue to do it. There is no harm in it. If you're finding some undervalued opportunities, you can invest, no problem. Okay. This does not mean that you should stop investing. This also does not mean that you set incorrect expectations. For example, if you're investing in Nifty, new money, let's say that tomorrow you go and invest 10,000 rupees, the expected CAGR on that 10,000 rupee should not be more than 12-13%, which is the average return of Nifty, right? So thoda kam hi ho sakta hai, right? Please remember that you have to now start building a newer strategy, which is very simple, that you have to keep an opportunity fund for you. Now, what is the meaning of opportunity fund? Opportunity fund means that kalko, right? Maybe like in 2 years or 3 years or maybe 4 years or maybe 6 months, who knows? If the market crashes by more than 20%, that is somewhat of a major correction in the market, then you need to have money to put to avail bulk buying opportunities. It should not happen that मेरे पास तब comments आ रहे हैं कि अक्षत यार we have no money. No, you have to start creating that money right away, right? How do you do it? It's very simple. That for example, every month you typically invest, let's say 10,000 rupees. Do only 8 9,000. Save that 1,000. Invest, let's say 10,000 away, right? How do you do it? It's very simple. That for example, every month you typically invest, let's say 10,000 rupees. Do only 8 9,000. Save that 1,000 additional money in your opportunity fund. Do bond investing in it or whatever investing you want to do. Okay, extremely critical. I teach all these strategies on my member community also. In case you guys are not a member, I see so many members showing up asking me questions. In case you want to learn all these things, fundamentally gain more confidence, it's a wonderful community. You learn from each other. You can check the links, okay, and join it. You'll have a wonderful experience. Just try it for a couple of months, okay. So I hope that this point is clear, that this is the broader strategy and expectation that you should have in mind. You should not go in with the expectation कि यार market में all time high हो गया है, right? Now I will start investing my money and now, right, every month I will see like 15% gain on my portfolio. नहीं होगा भाई, right? I mean, please be sensible, please be realistic, have realistic expectations. Whatever new money you are pouring in the market, you will not gain more than 12 13% CAGR on it for the next, you know, on a 2 year basis, likely, right? This is the most likely scenario, okay. Please have sensible expectation, extremely critical, okay. Okay, now comes the final part, that let me do some stock specific sensible commentary, right? I will give very quick notes here so that I get time to answer some of the questions. Okay, first good news, HDFC Bank has moved up, right? So congratulations everyone who was holding it. HDFC AMC, I don't know how many of you have been tracking it. Massively great performance over the last 6 months. I hope you guys are noticing it. On top of that, if you check, now I'm not saying or I'm not trying to push you to buy these stocks, and please don't take it in that respect. But if you check that stock, like let's say Kotak Mahindra Bank, from its top, it is still trading down by 20-25%. Okay, around 25%. Okay, you can check it. HDFC Bank, up until a month back, was trading roughly 50, 60, 17, 18% from its peak. It has quickly given 10% gain already. Okay. Both the stocks are in momentum, according to me. They are likely to do well, right? These are still undervalued, in my opinion. I'm not saying that immediately they might give like crazy returns, but good positive momentum is being shown. There are very good sensible reasons why these stocks are likely to give better returns. Why? Because FII money, if you check the data today, FIIs have bought a lot of Indian equities. Likely scenario is that this money is going to these type of stocks. Why? Because jo FIIs hote hain, when they buy in the Indian equity segment, they will mostly buy FNO oriented stocks because they have to hedge their portfolio. They mostly operate in large cap because the liquidity of those stocks is very high and the amount of investment that they are making is very high. So from that perspective, it's critical for them to buy these type of assets. And abhi to unki kharidari shuru hui hai, and if let's say FIIs continue to buy the Indian market for the next 6 months, there is no reason why these stocks will not go up by 30-40% each. Okay, so that's my viewpoint. Of course, I can be wrong. I'm explaining you the logic. I'm not saying कि सिर्फ मुझे ही पता है and सिर्फ मेरा perspective ठीक है. I'm just genuinely sharing whatever I'm doing. Okay, so this is about good strong banks. Okay, then comes the question about SBI cards. Interestingly, you guys don't ask me about SBI. Okay, so SBI cards आप लोग पूछते रहते हैं, SBI नहीं पूछते. Now, see, you should not start worrying about stocks which are in a growth industry where the industry itself is growing. The firms have shown good results. You can easily go on any app and check the results of the company, that are they doing really well, right? Are their profits high, revenues high? For SBI cards and SBI both, results are at its all-time high. They are sitting on its highest ever revenues, highest ever profits, probably lowest ever PE. I'll have to double check this last data point. So valuations are also fine, right? So industry's growth results, corporate results are very good. Valuation are fine. what is not happening is the price is not moving. When it moves, when the interest comes in the stock, okay, there is no reason why. So अब आप SBI cards का ही देख लो, right? For example, lot of people start fretting क्या 10-15% loss में बैठे हुए हैं on SBI cards. भाई देखो, like I mean, if you cannot hold like 10-15% loss on a stock, then you're never going to make money from ever on any good stock. This is the story that has repeated. How many of you have followed me for Meta, right? So much heat on Meta stock, so much heat for Ujjivan Small Finance, so much heat for HDFC AMC. Look at the stocks now, right? Meta, I'm personally sitting on a 160, 165%, 170% profit, something like that. Huge portfolio. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if so, on these type of stocks, you should not worry, right? As long as the industry is growing, group is fine, right? No major problem with the group. Now, the numbers are really good. Valuation is fine. You have purchased it at the right price. अब वो हो सकता है discount हो जाए यार. I mean, इसमें you should not like stress too much about it from that perspective. Okay. So these stocks, according to me, are likely to come back up, right? PNB, for example, has gone up quite considerably, dramatically. Some of the other PSUs have gone up. A few PSUs, for example, SBI is a public sector bank. It has not given a run up in conjunction with the way Bank of Baroda or Canara Bank or PNB have given. So when the next rally happens, let's say from 20,600, 700 to 21,500, maybe these candidates will be picked up. Okay, so this is anyone's guess which candidate will be picked up. But from a result point of view, it's not as if that Punjab National Bank's result are phenomenal compared to like SBI, right? Right. So I mean, it's almost the same, right? From that perspective. Okay. So I hope that this point is clear. Second is Adani stocks. A lot of questions. I don't know whether you should buy it, not buy it. See, this brings me to the second point, right? I mean, if you are picking stocks of the companies where you wish to trade, there is nothing wrong. I trade on some stocks, okay, or I look at opportunities and trade, right? For example, Delta Corp was one such stock for me. Okay, the bet did not go my way क्योंकि GST issue आ गया भाई, मुझे तो पता नहीं था कि GST issue आएगा, right? And all that. So be sensible. I can just do like business analysis and try to pick it. And उसमें से भी out of 10 stocks that you will pick, maybe like 6-7 will work, right? And 3-4 तो definitely जाएंगे नीचे, right? So that happens with any investor. Okay. If people are telling you that they're 100%, they have a 100% prediction, they are just lying, okay, and they're just BSing. So please don't believe in all that. Okay. Now see, making the larger point that if you are picking something like, let's say, Adani stock or Delta Corp or XYZ companies which are somewhat troubled and you wish to trade in them, right, then you should have a very specific technical target in mind and a very specific narrative, right? For example, if the Delta Corp thing is reversed, right, either it is going to go to zero, कि GST का issue आ गया and it goes to zero, khatam, right? Otherwise, there is no reason why it will not come back up because it lost its valuation because of the GST issue, right? So that's a simple point there. Okay, any issue there? Short answer is no, right? From so this is the hypothesis, right? Similarly, Adani thing, right? What is your hypothesis? The hypothesis is, yeah, you know what? I'll not say it. Okay, so basically, you guys are smart enough to understand, right, that what the hypothesis on Adani Group stocks are. If you believe in that narrative, पकड़े रहो stock, right, or खरीद लो, whatever you wish to do, like, right. Am I buying it? No, I'm not doing it, right. Why? Because there are, as long as you have good opportunities, you don't necessarily need to pick these. I haven't sold Delta Corp, right. I'm still sticking by it. हो सकता है zero चला जाए, right? I mean, I'm already saying it, right? It's a risky stock. At the time of buying, also, I had specifically said that. Now comes some stocks, for example, Avas. Okay, again, this will fall in category one, right? What I was speaking. Is its revenues, profits there? Yes. All time high revenues, profits. Yes. Are the valuations very good? Yes. Lowest ever P, so to say. Okay. Is the housing industry growing? Yes. Right. Housing loans, are they growing? Yes. What is the issue? Uh, Honestly, like one could argue that the segment of the loan that they give, that might be a slight issue, that the people might struggle in terms of repaying the loan later and all this stuff. उसके लिए default rate देख लो, right? So provisioning requirements देख लो. So again, there is no indication that there is something off with the firm or any major red flag with the firm. It hasn't moved, and जब भी इसको pick करा जाएगा, it will move very fast, right? So that's a simple point there. Okay, I hope that this point is clear. Which other stock, right? So some people have asked, yes. So okay, so now let me speak about consumer durables, right? So see, guys, I have my money on consumer durables. Did I buy it at decent valuations? Yes. Okay. Was business struggling at that point? Yes. Did I know why the business was struggling? So the story was that in 2019 around, these companies, be it, let's say, let's pick the example of Whirlpool, right? So now they manufacture washing machine, fridge, TV, AC, all that stuff. Now these are like bulk things that they are manufacturing. Storage hoti hai, storage cost is there, channel cost is there, all that stuff. They manufactured stuff. 2020 COVID happened, they were unable to move inventory. They said that, you know what, faltu pada hua hai aapke godown mein, discount it and sell it, right? So therefore their operating profit margin came down. Okay, so this was the first key challenge that these companies faced. And after that I got into something like consumer durables, after significantly, like somewhere in 2022 almost, right? So I got into that, and unfortunately for the last 1 year the performance hasn't been great. Now why hasn't the performance been great? Well, unfortunately it's a demand issue, right? That in India, what is happening is that if you segment the customer base, the rich are spending crazy amount of money, the ultra rich are spending absolute crazy amount of money, rich are spending really well, right? Maybe upper middle class is also consuming a little bit. When it comes to anything below upper middle class, the entire segment is struggling. Okay, so there is not enough demand that is coming. Now, is it Whirlpool's fault? No, this is just general slowdown in demand, and therefore you are seeing that the manufacturing growth rate has been really bad in India still, right? It's really bad, right? The only sector which seems to be growing is finance. Okay, now it's bad, right? The only sector which seems to be growing is finance. Okay, now इस तरीके के sectoral issues होते रहेंगे, right? That some sectors that you pick will win, some sectors that you pick will have genuine problems, which are macroeconomy related problems. You and I can't do anything, the company can't do anything. This is not company's fault. Okay, what should you do? Should you just sell it and go away? I'm personally not doing it. I'm sticking with it. And therefore you have like a balanced portfolio, that sometimes when your manufacturing bets are not working or your consumer durable bets are not working, the bets or high growth bets that you have picked, for example, finance is one of my biggest bets. Almost 70-75% of my portfolio is in finance. Those have done exceptionally well, right? I mean, बहुत सारे stocks हैं जिसमें I've made more than 100%, 150% profit, right? So from that perspective, this is the entire viewpoint, that unfortunately consumer durables right now is a moderate growth industry. When will the growth rate of the industry improve? When the consumer demand from a broad spectrum of people will improve. That unfortunately is not happening as of now. When will it happen? I don't know, right? Maybe it can happen. One trigger point here would be lowering of the credit cost. When the interest rates are cut, then probably consumer demand will pick up, right? So that's all I can say, right? On that note, let me just stop it here, right? So this is the end of the conceptual video that I wanted to teach. We'll be happy to take some questions, right? So, I'll just pick some questions, right? Pratik asks, thoughts on Cerebra? I have no thoughts. I have I'm not an investor in it. Next, retest good stocks to enter for minimum 50-100% gain. Okay with high risk. See, finance, right? So, for example, if you are picking anything finance related at this stage, if you're picking mid cap, small cap finance companies, they can go up. Even something like, Angel One can go like high even from this stage. Please don't take it as a stock recommendation. Something like Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank, traditional banks are likely to do well. Something like City Union Bank is likely to do well. So that's what I would say. Okay. So this one opinion on like high even from this stage. Please don't take it as a stock recommendation. Right. So, for example, if you are picking anything finance related at this stage, if you're picking mid cap, small cap finance companies, they can go up. Even something like, Angel One can go like high even from this stage. Please don't take it as a stock recommendation. Something like Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank, traditional banks are likely to do well. Something like City Union Bank is likely to do well. So that's what I would say. Okay. So this one opinion on Bajaj Finance is very good. Max Healthcare had already sort of given favorable viewpoint on that. It is already up 20-25% now, at least in my portfolio. Uh, Happy birthday, Akshat sir. It's not my birthday, man. So my birthday is 6th April. Right? Okay, so this I have answered. Appreciate work. Please let us know a good time to average Baba. Okay. Okay, so I'll make a separate video. There are so many good opportunities, right? Even in the US market, for example, NASDAQ composite hasn't hit its all time high. It is still trading maybe like 12 to 15% down. I'll have to double check. Rather than going with individual stocks, just buying index in the US makes sense. Right now, doing Nifty 50 investing might not make sense, but it makes sense there. Okay. So, what do you think about Biocon? I would stay away, right, from anything which which has a long lead cycle. I would stay away. Okay. See, Page Industries, there is nothing wrong. There is just slowdown in manufacturing, right, and consumption, right. So Page Industry ka bhi, it's not as if that only ultra elite are consuming its product. It needs a wider customer base. So it's the same problem that Whirlpool is facing, what Page Industry is facing, right, from that perspective. Okay. Bitcoin, yes, I've been extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Extremely good investment for me in the last 7 months. It has gone up by almost 80%, right? I had said it time and time again that Bitcoin is $1 million bet, right? It is either going to go to $1 million each, or it is going to go to zero. There is no mid path. People can keep on creating ruckus. Bitcoin has its own community. It's doing exceptionally well. Fixed assets are likely to do well in the future also. There are legitimate reasons why fixed assets are going to do well, and Bitcoin is one such asset which has a very strong community behind it, right? It's irrelevant what I think or what random person is thinking. As long as Bitcoiners are thinking positively about Bitcoin, they will continue to buy it. Tax on US profit. See, okay, so this is something that you guys can check. So tax on the US basically is that there is 20% TCS, tax collected at source, for any beyond 7 lakh of investment. So if let's say that you are investing, let's say 20 lakhs in the US market, then you have to pay TCS, tax collected at source, in terms of buying that. So your money gets blocked. It's not as if that this is extra payment that you are making in terms of taxation. Now the thing is that this taxation comes into because the tax cycle in India is March end, right? So if you're buying something in January, February, March, right, and if you want to invest in the US, probably these 3 months are very good because आपको tax जो आपको offsetting होनी है वो April में हो जाएगी, right? So I hope you got this point. This is an important point. Okay. Guys, I'm not picking too much manufacturing, to be honest, right? Asian Paints is very good, right? And it's undervalued, right? Problem right now is that if you buy very good assets, but if the industry is slowing and if you're buying that stock at very high valuation, then you might struggle. Okay, so from that perspective, please be very clear that you do not buy overvalued stuff. Um, okay, so from that perspective, please be very clear that you do not buy overvalued stuff, because that thing has started to happen, that a lot of things are getting overvalued and overheated right now. Okay, for example, is small cap overvalued? Short term, yes, it is now, right? I would argue that. Mid and long term, no, it is not, right? So bulk investing nahi karni hai, right? I mean, if you're not sure about the valuation, don't do bulk investing. It. Many people are asking me, yaar, ki, you know what, भर भर के अब PNB खरीद लें. Now PNB is already like, what, it has recovered from its fallen to a very large extent. I don't know how much run up it will give. So be careful, right? I mean, you have to do peer comparison between, let's say, State Bank of India and PNB. Which one do you think from a valuation perspective is better? Business prospect ऐसा तो नहीं है ना यार कि when PNB is doing like something extraordinary compared to SBI, right? So just apply brain there. Okay, logistics stocks like see specific stock I'll not be able to comment, but logistics में क्या होता है कि इंडिया में the cost of capital is fairly high for businesses that are not mature. Okay, so now logistics may basically you need scale. Now if the company is delivering into one particular area, for example, just to give you like a sense, when Amazon, Flipkart built its system of delivery logistics, right, जब उन्होंने logistics partner and fulfillment centers वगैरह बनाए, they had to put in a lot of infrastructure money on it in terms of making it profitable, right, for them. For the initial few years, they took massive losses. Even now, I don't think it's very profitable for them. So this is a key problem, and this is the issue that Delivery is also facing, right, which is one of the biggest logistics company in India. And there was this truck company which used to uh, transport goods from point A to point B, huge valuation. I'm forgetting the name of that company. Even that struggled, right? So इस तरीके की industries pick करना in India is a deep challenge, because as long as they sort out the cost of fund issue, they will struggle. Okay, so I would stay away, right? Personally speaking, at least as of now. Okay. Your view on India Bulls housing finance. See, company has overturned its problem, which is good. Samir Gehlot is out. That was the prime issue that these people were facing, and he has been pushed out. The company has gone down. It's a value play. Okay, so if you are flipping it, so very similar to like Delta Corp story, high risk high reward stock, right? So that's what I would say. Nothing wrong per se. Okay, start but to recommend finance specialization or stick to entrepreneurship. See, if you are pursuing your MBA, then you should stick to, and if you want to start your own business, then you should stick to entrepreneurship. Finance आप सीख लोगे, right? And it's more about like brand value through an MBA. So don't stress too much about which electives you are taking. ऐसा पढ़ा नहीं देंगे आपको business school में, right? From that perspective. Same hypothesis. Green panel is no. So green panel is different, right? I mean, you must know the reason why you are picking green panel, right? So for example, the reason why I picked green panel personally is that it's a industry which is required, right? For example, not everyone can buy like 1.5 2 lakh rupee teak wood or rosewood beds. Okay, now if you're buying a 3 bhk and if you are buying 3 beds, then you will not spend like 5 lakh rupees buying like real hardwood beds, right? You need a medium density fiber board, which is where green panel leads the race in India. So if you're keeping a 5-year viewpoint of a small company becoming big, so from that perspective, Green Panel fits the bill, right? They are able to run the operations profitably. This is not a short-term play, right? So that's what I'm getting at, and therefore, like I've been putting a little bit of money, and yeah. So that's what I'd say. Okay. Okay, Nifty, we have Nifty Bs for Nasdaq. So it's Nasdaq Composite. Okay, so that would be the point, right? So you can buy it on any forum like Vested, right? So you will be able to do it. Okay. GMM Fodler, right? See, I would personally come out of the stock. Why? I'll explain on a separate video. Yeah, I'll write a note, right? I mean, I think that will be easier. Explanation यहाँ पे देना will be tough without data. Okay? In terms of profit booking, finance, should we start at 21,000 or we should see 21,500 is a very important technical support because it is clear that the markets are going to go till there. Now let's say that we get to 21,500 next month. Okay, then what triggers are left for market to go up? Well, interest rate trigger hasn't been pulled, so then I will wait, right, a little bit. So we'll reassess, right, at 21,500, and I will share my perspective at that stage. But at least as of now, don't be in a rush to sell anything, right? Wait for the market to go to at least another 1,000 points. Okay. Okay. Any small case recommendation for high risk appetite? See, I mean, honestly, like it's not about like small case per se. If you see, I would not advise you to do high risk investing at this stage. Okay. Why? Right? It's very simple that two primary triggers are left in the market for it to take it from, let's say, 21,500 to 25. What are those two triggers? One is FII buying, right? If they end up buying the Indian market quite aggressively, then 21,500 kya 25,000 can also be achieved very, very quickly. Okay. Now, FIIs would typically not buy small cap, small small and mid caps much, okay, compared to large caps. Second, if you check the valuations of large cap compared to mid and small caps have given massive, right? If they end up buying the Indian market quite aggressively, then 21,500 cap 25,000 can also be achieved very, very quickly. Okay. Now, FIIs would typically not buy small cap, small small and mid caps much, okay, compared to large caps. Second, if you check the valuations of large cap compared to mid and small caps have given massive run up over the last 7 months, like last 1 year. That was the best time to buy small cap, mid cap. मैं अपनी चिल्ला चिल्ला के थक गया था, right? I mean, add little bit risk. Now is not the time to take risk. Now is the time to lower the risk. This is where people feel most adventurous because euphemism is there, right? I mean, यार, market अब नीचे जाएगा नहीं, all time high हो गई है. Every day you will see market going up by 1% or whatever. Then you will feel that euphoria. So this is the best time to lower risk on your portfolio. Okay. Or if you're taking risk, then take very concentrated risk. For example, I'm taking concentrated risk on my portfolio. I'm converting most of my portfolio into finance. That's it. Okay. So mine is a industry specific risk that I'm taking. It's concentrated. So in case I feel something is off, then I can be out of the market quickly. So that's what I would say. Don't buy stocks that are very high risk oriented at this stage. Okay. Motilal Oswal share. I have no clue. Okay. What else is remaining? Guys, I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. Opinion on Bajaj Finance is very good, right? Probably one of the best sectors. आप खुद सोच के देखो ना यार, आसपास क्या कर रहे हैं लोग, राइट? पैसा है नहीं खास, राइट? पीपल आर जस्ट टेकिंग लोन आफ्टर लोन आफ्टर लोन. मेरा एफडी में पैसा पड़ा रहता है, राइट? या अगर मैंने मान लो सेविंग्स अकाउंट में पैसा पड़ा रहता है या एफडी में पैसा पड़ा हुआ है, देन ऑल्सो आई गेट कॉल्स फ्रॉम माई ओन बैंक कि भाई साहब आपका पैसा यहाँ पे पड़ा हुआ है, आप और लोन ले लो हमसे, राइट? व्हाट सेंस डज इट मेक दैट इफ समवन इज सेविंग मनी, दे आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग कॉल्स कि और लोन ले लो. सो कंज्यूमर लोन्स is one of the fastest growing industry in India. Everyone is doing it. Everyone wants to do it. And Bajaj Finance is the leader. So I see no value in terms of selling it. Still a good stock, right? I mean, if you have like 2-year viewpoint on it, still, I would say good aggregation point. Yeah. Where to invest new money? For example, I said, have an opportunity bucket, right? So 10,000 आप typically invest करते हो, then keep like maybe 1-2,000 in that opportunity bucket. Store it safely, which you can pull out quickly in the event of a market drawdown, right? When the market goes down, I'll make a separate video on this. When the market goes down, that is when you need to deploy most of that capital. You need capital at that stage. Start building that capital now. Okay. Crash will come. It will come maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. We don't know. But you need to have money to take advantage of that crash. Most people do not have money during a crash. Okay. So this is one, right? Extremely important. Please keep that in mind. New money where you can invest is that, see, some undervalued opportunities are there. For example, HDFC Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, according to me, right? ITBs is also fine. It has given 12, 13, 14% run up in the last few, maybe a month or so, month and a half, but still very good opportunity there. You can do something like multi-cap funds. Okay, don't do individual large cap equity fund. वो वैसे भी किसी को beat नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन multi-cap funds which कोई खरीद लो, right? So it doesn't matter. Multi cap में उसका सिर दर्द कर दो, right? So at least you will be getting somewhere between, let's say, 9 to 12% returns, right? So those returns are fine when the market is at an all-time high. So that is where I would say, okay. Star Health Insurance, it might, because insurance overall is a good sector, so it might do well, but I'm just sticking to HDFC Life, right? And it has already given very good run up for me, right? Do you foresee Tata Elxsi, TCS, and maybe Tata Tech merging in the future? I don't think that these businesses will merge. In fact, businesses in India are demerging, right? For example, if you take a look at Adani, all the businesses are demerged. Vedanta is trying to demerge all its or many of its businesses. Even Ambani's are demerging its business. Why? That's a very interesting conversation, right? I was having it with a friend. The reason is that the cost of capital for each of these businesses is very, very different, and they all the entities can borrow differently, right? So therefore they are demerging it, and justifying valuations also become easy. For example, कई बार लोग सोचते हैं कि यार HDFC as a group कैसे डबल होगा, it's already at 1.1 trillion, is that right, and इतनी बड़ी कंपनियां, how will it double? But when you start seeing splitted companies, you get that confidence कि अच्छा यार ये तो डबल हो ही सकता है, right? So therefore I'll become an investor, so it moves that liquidity, right? Okay, okay, anything, any views on, okay, so this I have answered. Okay, so I think I've answered most of it. Maybe like another 3 minutes, right? And then go. Thoughts on LIC, guys. I mean, LIC, I had already shared my thoughts long back. It's bad. Okay, so that's what I'll say. What else can I say? See, guys, I mean, you're very tempted कि यार, you know, airline stock खरीद लेते हैं, oil stocks खरीद लेते हैं. Don't buy commodity stocks. That's what I would, you know, I won't. That's what I would say. Why? Because um, this is not a commodity play anymore, right? I mean, commodity play usually happens when there is some kind of shock in the economy, right? That immediately commodity prices बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई and all that. No, so right. So I mean, no point buying commodity much. It's usually a very slow sector, right? So from that angle, there is no point. Okay. So just avoid as much as possible all these commodity. Okay. How do you buy Bitcoin, right? So you can buy Bitcoin still using Binance, right? In P2P fashion, you can do it, right? So that is an option that you can execute. If you are outside India, then bunch of apps are there that allow you to do it. eToro is there. There is Robinhood you can use, right? So all these can be done. Okay. Right. No, I'll move away. Nasdaq, I've answered. Titan, Bank of Baroda is good. Apple, very good company, right? I mean, valuation wise, people keep on saying it will not double this, that, right? But honestly, it's doubling every 3-4 years, right? So it's just good. See, guys, I mean, again, the issue with Suzlon Energy is it's a valuation play, right? Double ho sakta hai, definitely, because you are buying it at a very low level. Same is the story with Yes Bank. But fundamentally, are these good companies? I don't know. Zomato, very good company, right? I mean, brand is solid, right? I mean, आप अपने मोहल्ले में निकल के देख लो, अभी चले जाओ, 9 बज रहे हैं, 9 साढ़े 9. Look at how many Zomato people you will see, a lot. Okay, and there are 2 players remaining, right? Give them 5-6 more years, they will double from where they are, right? It's as simple as that. CDSL, I don't know if it is overvalued or not, right? At one point, it was definitely not when I was giving a lot of commentary on it. But see, what happens is that if you are buying, what will happen now is that, let's say market reaches 21,500. Now, what do you think will be very profitable businesses at that point in time? CDSL, CAMS, AMC businesses. Why? Because they are all OPM based businesses, right? Commission based business hote hain, and they make a lot of money from that. Okay. Yeah, I'll make a separate video on IRDEA, right? Hindalco, Vedanta, I'll not buy, I'll not touch these type of stocks. Okay. Individual IT stocks, I'm not too much worried, right? Same story with TTK Prestige, VIP Industries. These are all stocks which are targeted towards middle class, and unfortunately, middle class does not have a buying power as of now. अब मान लो बजट में, next budget में, there is some kind of tax rebate which is given, okay, which promotes consumption of the middle class, or consumer lending आसान कर दी या interest rate कम कर दिया and whatever, right? Then these stocks are going to move very aggressively because they are facing something called as a consumer demand issue. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shashank. Appreciate it. Okay. I will hold SBI cards until it will give me at least. Okay, you cannot target like I'll hold it till here only. You have to understand like a little bit of support and resistance. But okay, right? I mean, there is no harm, right? I mean, it's a solid industry. आप देख ही रहे हो कि cards industry is growing. It's not as if that I am saying or I am trying to defend the stock. It's not as if that I have any personal stake in it from that perspective. It seems like a solid business. It's the there is no reason why it will not grow, right? And it's a separate cards entity business, so it is likely to do well from that perspective. Okay. All right, guys. So this is where we'll end. Otherwise, the stream will become really long. But I hope you enjoyed, right? And do join our community. People are having great experiences. You can read. Do let me know if I can be